Hey and welcome back to another episode of Just Call Me Josie, and today is finally the day where I do not have to struggle with this palette anymore. I am finally done. This is the finale of my Pan That palette, and no one is happier about that than I am, let me tell you. First and foremost, you guys, let's take a closer look at the final progress that I have made with this palette. And then we'll go over what I have learned, some do's and don'ts. I definitely have some don'ts. Oh, and at the end of the video, we are of course going to be discussing what the next project should be, and I would love to have your guys' input when it comes to that. To be completely honest, I don't even recall when I started this project. I know it has been maybe around 6 months or something like that, and I also don't remember if I said that I was going to have an end date, but I'm making it today no matter what I said in the intro. Okay guys, so this is the final result after this Pan That palette project, and I have managed to hit pan in 7 shades in total. And how does one feel about that? Well, I have to say I am definitely okay with it. Would I have liked to hit pan in more shades? Sure. But if I would have wanted to do that, then I should have definitely picked up a palette where I enjoyed the shimmers, because this was just a massive fail when it came to picking the palette. I do not know what I was thinking. It was my first project pan though, so I probably wasn't thinking all that much. If you don't like it, don't pick it for your project pan. That is a tip from me to you. So yeah, and also to myself in the future. I did manage to hit pan in 3 additional shades this last bit, so I am quite pleased with that. Because of the lack of quality in the shimmer shades, I decided pretty early on that I was going to only focus on the matte shades, because those I thoroughly enjoy. Apparently it was a unanimous decision from all of the shimmers together to form hard pan at the exact same time, probably because I was talking a lot of smack about them and they were just pretty much over it. At least that's how I feel. This shade also surprised me pretty much every time I used it, which is weird because I obviously do not learn from my mistakes. But every time in the morning when I was doing my makeup, I was going in with this one to set all over my lid after putting down my primer, and each and every time I realized that it was way too dark for that purpose and I have to go in and sort of damage control. Don't know why I just couldn't remember that this was in fact a transition shade for my pale eyelids. After having used it so often, you definitely make up your mind how you feel about each shade. So if you are uncertain about the palette, you're not really sure, you don't know how you feel about it, definitely put it in a Pan That palette. You will know exactly how you feel. This one also has a lot of similar shades indeed, which is also not great when you're trying to pan. You need some more contrast within the color story for sure. You guys all probably already know this, but I've also noticed that the type of a brush is very important and gives you a different result, and also allows you to either hit pan quicker or a lot slower. So that is definitely something to keep in mind as well. For instance, once I started to focus on this black and use a sort of liner brush and line my upper lash line each day and sort of smoke it out, I managed to hit pan super quickly. So the biggest lesson throughout this project is definitely to pick a palette where I enjoy majority of the shades. If you're gonna be stuck with something, you might as well make it enjoyable for yourself. That is definitely something I'm going to keep in mind. I have of course also learned that it takes forever to pan in eyeshadow, and I'm sure that is the first thing that pretty much everyone learns when they try to pan that palette. So for myself, it is never going to be realistic to do anything other than hitting pan. I am not going to be able to pan an entire eyeshadow palette. I don't wear makeup enough to pan an entire palette. I, for instance, do not usually wear makeup on the weekends. I like to just have a bare face and let my skin breathe and all of that good stuff. So yeah, do not wear eyeshadow enough. And with that being said, let's talk a little bit about what my next project pan should be. I have some thoughts, but I would also, like I said in the beginning, love your guys' inputs. I'm thinking either a Pan That palette like this one, but it is not going to be one palette throughout the entire year. In that case, I would like to switch it up. So either quarterly or at the half year mark, I would either roulette style it and pick another palette, or make a thoroughly informed decision and pick a good one. Don't know how I'm gonna do it, but that is the first option. Or the other thing that I was thinking was maybe tackling some single eyeshadows, because I feel like those definitely get the most neglected in my collection. So I would like to try maybe do some sort of product pan including just single eyeshadows. Don't know if you would be interested in that, but I feel like that would be a lot of fun. And in that case I would probably randomize it and pick maybe 5 eyeshadows for a period of time and then try hidden panning those and maybe show some looks that I came up with, and then a couple months down the road I would randomize it again, pick some new shades to play with, and so on and so forth. So definitely let me know your thoughts. Otherwise you leave it up to me to pick, and that does not always turn out great. It is a little bit dangerous to leave it up to me, so yeah, you pick. So before I go, I want to say thank you to this Urban Decay and Gwen Stefani palette. You probably will not be seeing this palette a whole lot more on my channel, to be honest. And of course I also want to say a big thank you to everyone that has followed this Pan That Palette series. There will be a new one kicking off very shortly, so definitely feel free to subscribe if you enjoy sort of Pan That Palette and product pans and all of that jazz. And hopefully I will see you guys then. Bye!